The afternoon sun filtered through the windows of Patterson's Market, casting long shadows across the polished floors. Michael Hayes stood by his shopping cart, carefully checking his grocery list one more time. His daughter, Emma, just 7 years old, sat in the cart holding a box of cookies she'd picked out her weekly treat for being good in school. Michael had learned to stretch every dollar since his wife Sarah passed away 2 years ago. Being a single father and working as a high school history teacher meant budgets were tight, but he and Emma managed to add each other, and that was what mattered most. He was reaching for a bag of rice when he heard the voice behind him, sharp, clipped, speaking in rapid German. A woman stood there, elegant in a cream-colored dress that probably cost more than Michael's monthly mortgage. Her blonde hair was swept up in an elaborate style. Diamonds glinted at her ears and throat. She held her phone in one manicured hand, gesturing impatiently at Michael with the other. Entschuldigung, she said, her tone making it clear she wasn't actually sorry. Kennst du nicht, sehen dass du im Weg stehst? Michael understood every word. Asterisk, can't you see you're in the way? Asterisk, he simply smiled and moved his cart slightly to the side. Saying nothing, the woman continued, switching to what she clearly thought was a private conversation with her companion or younger woman who, Michael assumed, was an assistant. DS. Loot, the elegant woman said with a dismissive wave. They have no awareness, no class. Look at him, shopping for cheap rice with his child in the cart, like some ... peasant. Emma looked up at her father, sensing something was wrong, even if she couldn't understand the words. Michael gently touched her hand and gave her a reassuring smile. The woman kept talking, apparently emboldened by what she assumed was Michael's ignorance. I don't know why Victor insists we stop at these common stores. We should have our groceries delivered. Having to share space with ... people like this? That man probably doesn't earn in a year what I spend on a handbag. Michael continued, shopping, moving methodically through his list. Ground beef, the family pack, on sale, pasta, vegetables, Emma's favorite cereal, the store brand because it was $3 cheaper. The woman followed the same path through the store, her cart filled with organic produce, imported cheeses, bottles of wine with French labels, and she kept talking, her German flowing freely, each comment more cutting than the last. Look at how he's dressed. That shirt has seen better days. And the child is that the same outfit she was wearing last week. Some people really shouldn't have children if they can't afford to raise them properly. That's when something shifted in Michael's expression. Not anger. He'd learned long ago that anger solved nothing, but he'd heard enough. He turned to face the woman fully, and in flawless German with a perfect accent that suggested years of study and practice, he spoke. "Eine dich Frau. I understand every word you've been saying." The woman's face went white, then red. Her assistant took a step back. Michael continued, his voice calm and steady. "You see, I spent 3 years teaching in Berlin before my daughter was born. My wife was German. She taught me the language, taught me about real German culture, kind that values kindness and humility, not the kind you're displaying today." Emma was watching now, not understanding the words, but recognizing something important was happening. "This shirt," Michael said, touching his faded polo, "was my wife's favorite. She bought it for me on our 5th anniversary. I wear it because it reminds me of her. She passed away 18 months ago." The woman opened her mouth, but no sound came out. "And my daughter's outfit?" Michael's hand rested gently on Emma's shoulder. "She chose it herself this morning because she said the colors make her happy. I think that's more important than whether it's new or expensive, don't you?" By now, other shoppers had slowed down, sensing the tension. A store employee in a green vest stood nearby, uncertain whether to intervene. "You're right about one thing," Michael said softly. "I don't earn in a year what you might spend on a handbag. I'm a teacher. I spend my days helping young people learn to think, to question, to grow into kind and thoughtful adults. I consider that time well spent." The woman's lips trembled. Her assistant had quietly moved away, pretending to examine a display of canned goods. "My wife used to say something," Michael continued. "She said the measure of a person isn't in their bank account or their clothing or their jewelry. It's in how they treat people when they think no one important is watching." There was a long silence. The woman's face had gone from red to pale, her carefully applied makeup suddenly looking like a mask. Finally, she spoke, and this time in English, her voice barely above a whisper. I apologize. There's no excuse for what I said." Michael nodded slowly. "We all have moments we're not proud of. The question is what we do with them." The woman looked at Emma, who was watching with those wide, innocent eyes that children have. "I'm sorry, young lady. You look very lovely today." Emma, not quite understanding what had transpired but recognizing an apology, gave a small smile. The woman turned back to Michael. "Your wife sounds like she was a remarkable person." "She was," Michael said simply. "She taught me that everyone we meet is fighting a battle we know nothing about. She taught me to lead with kindness, even when it's hard. I'm Christine, the woman said, extending her hand. Christine Whitmore. Michael Hayes. They shook hands. And this is Emma. Crissetti's eyes were glistening now. I've been having a difficult time. My husband and I are going through a separation, but that's not an excuse. I was cruel, and I'm ashamed. Michael's expression softened further. I'm sorry you're going through that. It's not easy, untangling a life you've built with someone. No, Christine agreed. It's not. And I've been angry at the world. But that's my problem to solve, not yours to endure. Emma, with the wisdom children sometimes surprise us, held out her box of cookies. These are really good, she said. They make me feel better when I'm sad. Christine laughed a real laugh this time, with tears in her eyes. Thank you, sweetheart. That's very kind of you. They stood there for a moment, 3 people and a cart in a grocery store aisle, connected by an unexpected moment of truth and grace. My Sarah used to say, Michael offered quietly, that kindness is the language the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Maybe we all need reminders of that sometimes. Christine nodded, wiping at her eyes. Your Sarah was a wise woman. And you're a good man, Mr. Hayes. Your daughter is lucky to have you. I'm the lucky one, Michael said, looking down at Emma with obvious love. As they parted ways, Christine paused. Mr. Hayes, thank you for the lesson I clearly needed to learn. We're all learning, Michael said gently, every day. Later, as Michael and Emma loaded their modest groceries into their car, Emma asked, Daddy, what was that lady saying in the other language? Michael thought for a moment about how to answer honestly but appropriately. She said some unkind things because she was hurting inside. But then she apologized, and we both felt better. Like when I say sorry to Lily at school when I take her crayon. Exactly like that, sweetheart. Emma thought about this as Michael buckled her in. Mommy would have been proud of you today. Michael's eyes filled with tears. Do you think so? I know so. You were kind even when the lady wasn't kind first. Just like Mommy always was. Driving home through the familiar streets, Michael thought about the encounter. He could have been angry. He could have been cruel in return. But Sarah had taught him better. She'd taught him that responding to darkness with more darkness only makes the world dimmer. That evening, as Emma did her homework at the kitchen table, there was a knock at the door. Michael opened it to find a delivery person holding an enormous basket wrapped in cellophane and ribbon. The card read, Asterisk for Emma, because every child deserves to smile. And for Mr. Hayes, with profound apologies and gratitude for the reminder that grace costs nothing but means everything. See Whitmore asterisks inside were art supplies, books, and yes, several boxers of Emma's favorite cookies. Michael smiled, thinking of Sarah, thinking of how one moment of choosing kindness over anger had created ripples he'd never anticipated. Who's it from, Daddy? Emma called. Someone who learned something important today, Michael said. Just like we all do, if we're paying attention. That night, after Emma was asleep, Michael sat in his favorite chair, the one where Sarah used to curl up with a book and thought about the day. He'd been tested, and he'd responded the way Sarah would have wanted. With truth? Yes, but also with compassion, because in the end, that's what his wife had taught him. We're all just people trying to navigate this complex world, carrying our own burdens, fighting our own battles. And the least we can do, the very least, is treat each other with kindness along the way. The next morning, Emma wore her favorite outfit again, the one that made her happy, and Michael wore his faded polo shirt, the one Sarah had loved. They had enough. They had each other, and they had the lessons that love leaves behind, lessons about grace, about kindness, about what truly matters in this brief, beautiful life we're given.